I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Wow. This has been crazy and exciting.
These things are always like breakneck pace, craziness, but
Chyler, like Chyler.
how many times do
Killer,
people
Cheryl,
mispronounce
all
that?
the time.
All the time?
And when I introduce myself, for the most part, it's Tyler. Everybody thinks I said Tyler. I've gotten Heather a few times. I don't really know where that came from, but other than that, yeah.
So I'm curious, were you a Supergirl fan when you were younger, and like, did you grow up reading Supergirl? Is this like a personal dream come true to be involved in a project like this?
Well, it wasn't necessarily Supergirl, it was Superman.
Yeah.
You know, I have an older brother, and he was obsessed with everything, and I wanted to be like my older brother and like just do all the things that he did, and so I loved it too because of him. So,
Yeah.
you know, so I grew up with that and like Christopher Reeve's Superman and those movies. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a part of it. It's really like it's an honor to be a part of it. It's really exciting, and the whole cast is fantastic. And you know, some things are going to stay true to what everybody knows already, and then some things are going to be different, and you know they're going to can't please everybody, but you know we're going to try to do our best to make everybody happy and love the show.
Well, and it's exciting too because I think this is probably the first like superhero show with a female lead superhero. I mean, we've had shows like Birds of Prey,
Right.
but this is the first one where you've got a solo character and it all revolves around her.
Yes.
So it's really exciting and kind of empowering for women.
Very much so. I think this is a really great step. It's appropriate.
Yeah.
It's appropriate. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't even say like it's a good step forward. It's appropriate. It makes sense, and,
Yeah.
and it is timely, and I think it's very important. And I have two daughters, and they're 8 and 6, and I couldn't think of a better way to be a part of something that is such a great influence for them. Like they get to look up to Supergirl, and it's just, I mean, it's so cool. Melissa's amazing. I don't know where she went, but she's absolutely amazing. There's nobody better for that part than her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just really, it's really exciting. And I also have an 11-year-old boy, and he's like over the moon. He loves comics. He loves. When we first talked about it, he's like, okay, so that's DC, all right. We're not talking Marvel anymore. All right, so we're gonna put this stuff aside. We're gonna talk about. So cute, so fun. So it's a lot, but it's amazing. It's so cool. Yeah.
What are you most excited for?
I think the girls kicking butt. I'm excited about that. I think it's fun. You think about the Linda Hamiltons, and you think about Sigourney Weaver, and that kind of like. There's just these really great powerful moments for the girls. But I don't know. Everybody's like so gifted at what they're doing, and it'll be really interesting to see the relationships between everybody. And there's a lot that we know about, and then it's kind of cool for me because my character was not part of anything that was created for the show. So I kind of like have an interesting kind of like entry point, and to kind of really make something new, which I think is really cool, And then I didn't have to do quite as much homework on everything, so it was kind of like, all right, so I'll deflect a little bit too. No, it's great though. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know entirely. They're not really telling us anything. We haven't seen the next script yet. Talking points are very, very minimal. But I have heard that I get to do a lot of really exciting things. That's as much as I've gotten, which isn't very, like, satisfying as an answer, but, there's a lot that'll be unexpected of my character that will kind of like be revealed. A lot like the DEO kind of stuff, and like, whoa, we didn't see that coming. There's a lot of like, whoa, we didn't see that's coming. What's that? Yes. We start filming episode 2 on the 23rd. Yeah. So, I mean, we haven't even seen the next script yet. So, we're all on the same page. Yes. Well, I'm excited to see, who they bring in. I mean, I have no idea what their plans are again, but, I'm hoping that Supergirl takes me flying. I think that would be really cool. If I had a superpower, I would want to fly. I know, like, should probably be, like, I don't know, fixing great things or healing people or something. But I'd really like selfishly, I'd love to fly. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Have you done wire work?
I haven't.
So that would be a first time for that.
That would be a first time.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Melissa's. I think she said it was her first time doing that as well. And she spent, I think, 2 days in a row, like just straight on the wires. And
I'm sure it's like incredibly uncomfortable, but at the same time, it would probably be just thrilling to do it. And
That's
be able
yes,
to say that you did it.
very
Yeah.
much like what she said. I mean, she endured a lot.
Yeah.
Like physically, it was very demanding for her. But I mean, she's a pro. She knocked it out. She's a pro. She had fun. She always smiled, and it's just great to work with people that are really grateful for what they have and what they do, and enjoy it, and they just have fun. Like everybody genuinely had a good time and had fun. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
If I sit down,
Well, you're
I'm next.
Are we flip flopping?
flip-flopping.
Oh, okay. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for talking
Thanks.
to us.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure.
absolutely. He gives really, really great answers. So.
No pressure.
No pressure. Can I do a song? No.
You're actually the second person to do that. That's
We all
funny.
do that. It's
there's
just
a-
so
There's pressure when you
unoriginal.
have a mic in front of you to sing, right?
Yes, exactly. How's everybody?
Good, and you?
Good, good.
It's an exciting project to come out here and talk about.
Oh man, I can't wait. I mean, like, you know, on a lot of shows you do, you kind of like, oh, I'm going to be doing this, you know, he's going to be doing this, going to be doing that. But this really does have a buzz, and you know, we're all excited to see where our characters' trajectories are going to take us. Nothing's set in stone, nothing's firm yet. So, you know, we're just really very excited to get those scripts and start seeing where we're going to go.
So yeah, we were just talking about that with Chyler about how you really don't know what's coming, and I would imagine that to some extent that's probably exciting and maybe a little nerve-wracking. But so they haven't really given you any kind of ideas of where the first several episodes are going to go.
I've heard some stories,
Yeah.
and it's really exciting.
Good.
Because again, you know, I play a character called Hank Henshaw, and
Yeah.
in the comic books, he ends up being very famously Cyborg Superman.
Yeah.
But what's great about the superhero genre, I think, is that it's interpretive. So you can get 5 different Batmans and have 5 different performances. You'll have 5 different Supermans and have 5 different performances and 5 different stories. And what's going to be great about this is to see how we interpret Hank Henshaw, how Greg and Ali and Sarah and Andrew interpret Hank Henshaw. And from what I'm hearing, it's really, really exciting.
Is it going to be like the comics? Because I'm a big fan of that storyline.
Well, you know, I did a lot of that research, and I couldn't find a definitive Hank Henshaw storyline.
Yeah.
You know, some say he worked here, some say he was an astronaut, some
Yeah,
say
it was
he was
almost like a takeoff on the Fantastic Four. It was like a super family.
That's right,
They,
yeah.
but they all had powers, but it became very tragic, where they all
yes.
sort of lost their lives
That's
because
right.
of those powers.
That's
yeah.
right. The one thing I did like is that Hank does become indestructible.
Yes.
And having been blown up in my last 2 projects, I'm really liking that. Really liking that.
Good deal.
we're at Comic-Con. I want to know, what are you a fan of?
What am I a fan of? Well, I was always an Incredible Hulk fan, and I have to say Mark Ruffalo does that really, really well. Should I say that? I'm not sure about it's Marvel, but yeah, as a kid, I was always reading the Fantastic Four and the Incredible Hulk, and as a young kid, I have to say, it's so exciting to see these comic books now looking great. There's no strings and there's no kind of dodgy green screen. It just looks really, really great. And I think we've reached a point now where technologically we can do some incredible stuff. And again, relating this back to Shakespeare, I mean, you know, what's great about these stories is that they're full of these archetypes struggling with personal issues. So despite your superhero strength, you're still dealing with loss, or you're still dealing with revenge, all these things that make those make things relatable to the audience. So despite, as I say, despite their kind of super aspects, what's great about all these stories is that they're full of human stories. And, I'm just lucky to be, you know, to be on this project because I'm really excited about it. Any villains? I kind of like to see. I used to kind of like the Silver Surfer. I always thought he was kind of cool. So maybe him. Who was the big guy? That Galacticus. I thought he was great. So you know,
Yeah.
It's all Marvel. I should maybe stick
Well,
to my
like
DC.
Darkseid from DC is like a big like hulking guy, and he'd be cool to bring in because
Well, okay.
they've never really done anything with him on DC.
Well, I think that there's a lot of characters I think that are going to start to unpack now.
Yeah.
And as you say, I think a lot of the main superheroes have perhaps mainly been Marvel, apart from obviously the big tentpoles, Batman, Superman. So it's going to be nice to start feeding these characters through, and I think people are going to be very excited when they start appearing in. They may start appearing in.
But you almost can't do a super story without having the Bizarro world at some point, so it'd be cool to see that too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, write in. I should encourage people to write in and say, like, how about this guy? How about that guy? You know.
I'm just glad to see Hank Henshaw being brought to life because I've always loved that character in the comics.
Oh,
so,
great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to be bringing him to life.
Cool. I think they're trying to pull you, David. I'm sorry.
Okay, great.
Thank you for talking.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.